Chinese have a beautiful expression, crossing the river by feeling the stones. Imagine you need to cross a river. You can see the other shore. The destination is clear, but the water is murky, the current unpredictable, and you can't see the bottom. So you move forward, stone by stone, testing their stability before putting your full weight on them. Sometimes the stone shifts, sometimes you step back. It's uncomfortable, uncertain, but it's the only way to cross. Singapore, March 2022. It's 1 a.m. and my phone rings. I sit up in my bed. It's Rome. Two weeks earlier, Russia invaded Ukraine, and 40% of Europe's gas supply was compromised. They are calling me to ask me to become the chair of SNAM, the main gas transport operator in Italy and in Europe. Not a coincidence, I served on the board before, and they trust my track records. Now, the problem. For 10 years, I've been advocating for climate action and for Europe's exit of fossil gas. And now I'm asked to come back and to save the very gas I wanted to eliminate. Sitting on my bed, in my pink pyjama, 10,000 kilometers from home, I wonder, am I the right person for this mission? The answer comes clearly. This is about serving a cause greater than myself and accepting I don't have all the answer. This mission is like a river. I can see the destination, a decarbonized energy system, but the path, impossible to plan. So I must keep my eyes fixed on the distant shore while focusing on each stone under my feet. Now, stop for a second. What is your river? Maybe artificial intelligence disrupting your industry? Or raising kids in a world that is very different from yours? These challenges, they share the same characteristic. You know where you want to go, but the path is fundamentally uncertain. So, how do you lead when you can't see clearly ahead? At SNAM, we stepped on 3 types of stones: speed, optionality, and resilience. The first stone was speed. When the crisis hit, Italy and Europe needed alternative gas supply fast. The solution was liquid gas shipped by sea. So we needed to invest in 2 huge floating platforms to receive it, regasify it, and feed into the network. Projects like this normally take years of planning, permitting, procurement. We did it in 11 months. How? First, by admitting we had been wrong. We had been optimizing for a clean and affordable energy future, neglecting the third corner of the triangle, security. It is not easy to say out loud when you spent a decade on one path, but it's exactly what a leader in uncertainty must do, update the map when the current changes. And second, we stepped up an unprecedented level of collaboration with institutions and regulators. Everyone working as one, compressing years into months. Because when the water rises, you don't have time to perfect the plan. You move. Our second stone was optionality. Don't bet on one future. In addition to liquid gas, we also needed to expand the pipeline capacity from North Africa. The biggest pipeline projects in more than 10 years. And here we made the choice that felt almost counterintuitive at that time. We invested in a technology capable to carry hydrogen, not more difficult to carry than fossil gas. And at the same time, we invested in carbon capture and storage. We bet on the two tables because we had no certitude low-carbon hydrogen would replace fossil gas. It's like a hiker who packs, he packs for both sunscreen and raincoat. You don't know what the mountains has in store for you, right? So you pack for both. Because in uncertainty, optionality beats efficiency. A stone that can lead you in two directions is much better than a perfect stone that leads you nowhere if you bet wrong. Our third and last stone was resiliency. You remember Spain in April 2025? 60% of the electricity supply of the country disappeared in 5 seconds. A massive cascade failure. And what saved it? Gas. As we electrify massively, and we must, the electrical grid will go through shocks we can't yet predict. You cannot cross a river on a single stone. You need a backup. Think of gas infrastructure like a fire station. You fund it not because you expect a fire every day, but because when it happens, nothing else will do. And through all this, the crisis, the pivots, the infrastructure built, we never stopped decarbonizing. We reduced our direct emission by 30% since the beginning of the crisis, proving that energy security and decarbonization are not incompatible. Because filling the stones doesn't mean abandoning the destination. It means focusing on it stone by stone. Now, don't want to know if we made it across? For the next 2 winters, everybody had predicted electricity and heating cuts across Europe. Well, Italy and Europe made through those 2 winters without any major power outage. But the most important lesson, I understood it while crossing. I'd worked in technology and in energy infrastructure. I knew energy transition was one of the most complex things humanity had attempted. But what this experience taught me is that geopolitical cycles layer on top of that complexity. You plan a 30 years decarbonization plan, and a war changes everything. It's not that you don't know how to plan. It's that the reality changes direction while you're planning. The current shifts while you're crossing. And this is leadership in uncertainty. And that's why, regardless of your mission, your challenge, you need to keep both ambition on the long term and focus on each stone. Now, why I'm telling you all this? McKinsey surveyed over 140 leaders from the energy sector to understand what leadership model works in this new era. And you know what they discovered? A critical gap. The qualities leaders need the most are precisely the ones current leaders possess the least. The leader who used to say, "Follow me, I know the path," can no longer make that promise. You pretend otherwise, you lose all credibility. But this doesn't mean stepping back from leadership, but leading differently, not by commanding, but by empowering and collaborating towards a bigger goal. Not by projecting certainty, but having the humility to say, "I don't have all the answer, that's why I need you." Not by defending a fixed plan, but adapting when the current changes and bringing people with you when it does. The new leader doesn't say, "I know the path." The new leader says, "I don't know the path, but I know how to find it with you, stone by stone." And here, what that gap told me about myself. That night in Singapore, in my pink pyjama, sitting on my bed, I realized these qualities I had been practicing throughout my career without knowing they had a name. The answer that I gave to myself that night when I accepted the mission was, I'm going to succeed because I am a woman. Okay, that was a shortcut. What I really meant is, I'm going to succeed because I can serve a mission bigger than myself. Because I'm okay not having all the answer. I know how to collaborate, to adapt, and to show humility when it matters. Look, for decades, the dominant leadership model has valued certainty, control, command. The leader who's always right, who never showed doubts. I fell into that trap myself early in my career. The successful leadership roles I had around me behaved that way. But with the time, I understood that model was outdated. Because when uncertainty layers on top of uncertainty, those qualities, they don't work anymore. The quality we need, humility, collaboration, adaptability, serving a mission bigger than yourself, these are the ones that our society has always coded as feminine and therefore neglected. It's about time we gave these qualities and the people who perform them the value they deserve. Now, here is my invitation. Identify your river, your challenge, today, right now. Identify one stone, one first action you can take this week. Don't wait for the perfect plan, not all the answer. Accepting you don't know everything, be willing to collaborate, to adapt, to serve a mission bigger than yourself. These aren't weaknesses. They are exactly what you need. Because the truth is, the ones who succeed aren't the ones with the best plan. They are the ones with the certainty on the destination and the humility to feel their way forward, stone by stone. Thank you.